Hi, I'm Patrick Noonan with IPX Investment Property Exchange Services. We're the largest qualified intermediary in the country and provide 1031 services all across the investment property spectrum, from the tiny rent house up to the more institutional grade investment sales. What we do when we're doing a 1031 is we're deferring the capital gain tax you would normally pay on the sale of an investment property. Now you've engaged us to help you with that, and now what, right? First thing we're going to want to do is gather the paperwork that we need in order to get your documents prepared for your closing. The key thing about any 1031 exchange is that we have those documents in place to be signed on or before your closing date, so that you have, in effect, a good exchange. We can't go back if you get past that closing date and do documents retroactively, so we want to make sure that we get those handled first. Primary number one thing you want to do when you're doing a 1031. So if you ask yourself, do I have a 1031 exchange? Well, if you've got documents that you signed with our company on or before that closing date, then you do. So from that day, that closing date, think of a 1031 exchange as having a lifespan of 180 calendar days, the first 45 of which are called your identification period. Now, that's a very important time that you have to be proactive about submitting a property identification to us. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be under contract on the properties you identify. However, it's a good idea. You have a much higher likelihood of success if you are under contract in the first 45 days, but again, not a requirement. The main thing is that if you wish to proceed with an exchange, you find properties that you have a realistic chance of closing on, and you get them identified to us prior to midnight on day 45. If you manage to do that, then you've got 135 days remaining to close on the properties on that list. So as you go along, we're going to be sending you reminder notices to submit your identification. Please read those. Reading your documents is very important. There's lots of information in them, and there's responsibilities that you have as the exchanger that you have to be aware of and be proactive about. We're here to help you, and if you ever have questions and you need to get some guidance about those rules, or if you feel lost or somehow want some guidance on a transaction, you can call me anytime on my cell phone number. And I'll try to help you get through the process.